up, guys? Welcome back to this desk that you've seen many times before. However, this time is different because it's Halloween, a time of spookiness, a time of dressing up, a time for candy, except for candy corn, because fuck candy corn. And another scary thing in this modern era is a little thing I like to call downloadable content. And it's scary because that's probably the reason we will never get another Grand Theft Auto 6, and why loot boxes are still a raging problem in the gaming community. So, take a seat and relax as we sit down on this Halloween to discuss the horrors of So downloadable content, more commonly known as DLC, add-ons for already existing games, whether it be characters, new courses, areas, maybe new skins, quote-unquote, or maybe just a whole new campaign/story as an example. You have this game, it's loved by many people, so you have a few options. You can make an entirely new game in the form of a sequel with new characters and new worlds within the same universe you love, or you can take that already existing game, make a new story, arrange the already existing elements into that story, and boom, give us money please. Something like that is probably what you think of when the phrase DLC comes up, and that's usually what I think of too. But the thing is, DLC is so much more complex than that. It can range from something as simple as adding an update to a game that maybe just adds a minor little thing to it, or it can be as big as a whole new game within the already existing game. But both sides of the spectrum are considered DLC, even if you don't pay for it, despite paid DLC being what most people probably think of. Now, DLC is a bit of an interesting topic because it can either be really good or really bad depending on your opinion and what the game is, and also what kind of DLC they're putting out there. Like, little expansions or add-ons for an already existing game is good, but a developer blatantly not finishing a game and making you pay extra money just to see the rest of it is bad, and I'm looking at you, EA. Just as an example of how mixed a topic like this is, just look no further than one of the most popular games ever right now. GTA Online is easily one of the best and easily one of the worst things to ever happen to the GTA franchise. Like, the concept of playing Grand Theft Auto Online is phenomenal. Like, GTA is a game that's known for just wandering around and having fun committing every illegal activity known to man. Now, if you take that concept and add playing with your friends to it, you have one of the best multiplayer experiences I've ever had. However, GTA Online has a lot of DLC in the form of cars, outfits, and in-game currency, and GTA Online is really popular, thus making the DLC popular, thus giving Rockstar a lot of real-life currency, so they're like, well, no point in making a new GTA when we can just update the online and milk this one forever. It's just really frustrating because GTA games used to come out semi-regularly. The PS2 had GTA 3, Vice City, and San Andreas. 3 GTA games all within the same generation, opposed to GTA 5 that's come out within 3 console generations. And I find it sad that they're probably not going to make another one for a while because they know they can just milk GTA 5 forever. Oh my god, and don't even get me started on microtransactions. They are the worst. Literally, if you look up microtransactions on Google, there is a danger section. They are awful. One of the most common forms of microtransactions are a little thing I like to call loot boxes. Loot boxes are little crates of goodies you can buy in games filled with random little stuff. And when I say random, I mean you have no idea what's going to be in them. It could be something really good or something really bad. Man, I swear there was a word for that somewhere. Oh yeah, there it is! But don't worry, it's not just adults doing it. In fact, there's probably more kids that buy loot boxes. Oh my god, a bonus word! I know it sounds a bit dramatic, but loot boxes really are one of the worst things you could spend your money on. And I don't want to be that guy that tells you how to live your life, but if you buy DLC for a game, for the love of god, just get something you at least know you'll like. Sure, you might get something worth more than what you paid for or whatever, but why take the risk? There are loot boxes in some games that don't cost real money, just in-game currency. And those are fine, but if it's real life money you're spending, they're just not a good idea in my opinion. You're much better off just picking and choosing what you want, and if for some reason the only way to get stuff like that is through loot boxes, I would say maybe just fuck that game. Then of course there's the downside to DLC in terms of online gaming. Not bad as in like gambling bad, no. DLC in online games is often stuff to improve yourself with weapons, maps, skins, etc. Now obviously these are all fine things to have as DLC. In fact, that's probably one of the main things thought about when DLC comes up. But see, that's something that makes it sort of difficult for new people to start playing games like that. It's not like all games are like this, but it's been sort of a problem for years where some games, to get good stats, you have to pay money for certain things, and it's not really fair. Not everybody can afford to blow a bunch of money on a game's DLC. They might have already blown it all just to get the disc. They already bought the game. why should they have to pay more money just to be remotely good at it compared to everyone else? It's just a flawed system. For example, a game like Fortnite has a huge issue with that, but I'm much more accepting of Fortnite because the difference between that and something like, say, Call of Duty is that Fortnite is free. Yeah, it's still a little game, but at least you can still enjoy the game without paying, even if everyone else is just a little better than you. I just feel like there needs to be a better system than what we got, because this is one of the bigger reasons I'm not as into online multiplayer games as I'd like to be, and it's kind of a bummer. And of course, gaming subscription services are a form of DLC, specifically Nintendo Switch Online, Xbox Live and Game Pass, and PS Plus. Let's start with Nintendo Switch Online, and personally, I don't really mind it that much. I think when it first came out, it was totally lame because you didn't have to pay to play online games, and now you suddenly did, and the only incentive was the absolute worst and smallest library of NES games ever. There was also cloud saves, but there were certain games that didn't allow the usage of them, and most of the ones on that list weren't exactly games you'd want to lose progress on because many people would put a lot of time and effort into them. But nowadays I think it's fine. They've updated the game selection a lot, adding more games to the NES section and adding SNES, N64, and Sega Genesis games. The library's actually gotten pretty full, and I like the way they're handling retro games this generation. I hope they don't stop at N64 and keep going to GameCube, Wii, etc. Honestly, nowadays I still pay for Switch Online more for the retro games than the actual online portion. To me, Switch Online feels less like online play with games included and more like a retro game service with online play and lame cloud saves. Nintendo Switch Online is $20 a year, or $50 if you want the N64, Sega Genesis games, and Animal Crossing Happy Home Paradise. So for what comes with it, I'd say it's fairly affordable, and I think it's a pretty alright little service. Next up, there's Xbox Live, which really isn't anything other than just paying for the online portion of Xbox. But the big thing I want to talk about is Game Pass because it is amazing. So imagine this, in exchange for a measly $15 a month, you get access to a massive library of hundreds of games, new and old. You can even play most new releases on day one. If you have an Xbox and don't mind digital games, I would seriously recommend Game Pass because it is such a cool little service and there is so much variety to choose from. It's honestly one of my favorite subscription services. I like it a lot. And finally, let's have a look at PS Plus, which really isn't anything special in my opinion. You pay for the online portion, and included in that is a couple random games for free each month. It's fine and doesn't hurt anything, but compared to Xbox and Nintendo, it's sorta lame. I guess it's a decent incentive and better than nothing, but still.
And that, my friends, is some of the spookiest, most horrifying elements of the gaming community in this dire modern world known as downloadable content. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to purchase all of the DLC characters for Super Smash Bros., despite the fact that I haven't played Smash in probably maybe like a year or so. Don't judge me, I never said I was against DLC.